I have to apologize for how grainy this video looks. When I had a good quality thing in here, the internet connection just decided to act simple. But this is about people calling you a racist as a shaming tactic. Someone insinuated on one of my videos that I'm a racist. I think he insinuated that I'm a racist because I said that I think that by me being black, I might have a problem with concealed carry because of the biases of the system. That's like saying that I'm a thief because I lock my front door because I don't want to be robbed. Or like saying I'm a reckless driver because I wear a seatbelt. Or saying that I'm a drug addict because I won't smoke marijuana. That's basically what that's the equivalent of. You're not a racist because you're worried about racism. You're a racist because you don't like people based on the color of their skin. And if you happen to be a member of an ethnic group like mine that has been subjected to racism, if you don't take some things into consideration, what that could be because of your race, you're just not being realistic. So it's not like I won't work my day job around people who aren't black. It's not like I won't instruct people who are not black. None of that's true. So calling me a racist is ridiculous. Now, I really don't care in a way. I just need a topic for a video because let's face it, sometimes I have trouble coming up with stuff. And if somebody says something that's a little wild and that I think will give views, I want to talk about it. But I also thought about this because I've been accused of this before, like in my day job. I had a supervisor, and it's not anybody I'm working with currently. Matter of fact, the person who actually said this is not even with us. He's gone on to be with the Lord. But he told me that he had heard that I didn't like white people. And I started laughing. And I'm like, you obviously don't know me if you think that I don't like white people. He said, well, that's what he'd heard, Bill, because, I said, oh, I know what it is. And I know what it is. And this has happened a couple of times before, too. See, there are some people that think if they see me and I'm frowning or I look mean, or I'm not smiling, they think that I don't like them. Or if they see me frowning all the time, they used to think that maybe I don't like the people that I'm around, or maybe that I just don't like white people. The truth of it is, when I would say before the age of about 22 or 23, I know I didn't smile a lot because I was actually in pain, in serious pain, because I had really bad sinus infections. And back then, they didn't have medicine now like they have now, like Flonase. Flonase has been a godsend. Flonase has made my life a lot better. They also didn't have antihistamines back then that worked, that didn't cause a lot of drowsiness. So a lot of times, if I didn't want to be sneezing all over the place or breathing snot on everybody, I would have to take antihistamines that made me groggy. And so I'm trying to pump myself with caffeine from colas and stuff just to stay awake. And so I probably did look mean. Not to mention the fact that sometimes I was sore because when I used to jog every day and do jump kicks 4 or 5 times a week to try to keep my weight somewhere near normal, I was in pain. So I was actually in pain. I even had to explain that to a supervisor once. She called me and we need to talk about your attitude. It's like, I'm in pain. That's what's wrong. And I was working in a computer lab where there was a lot of wind, and that really hurt my sinuses. But I put up with it because I needed the money. Well, why didn't you? I'm like, I need the money. I'm just going to suck it up, buttercup, and deal with it. And then she like, well, just put your smock on and wear your hat sometimes. And that actually helped. So that helped with that. But see, the point is, some people are going to assume that a large black guy is just some kind of black militant because he's not smiling. I don't feel like I'm obligated to smile all the time. And another reason why I probably didn't smile all the time, I don't know how many broke people are smiling. I noticed, though, that the more successful I got, the more I smiled. And you probably see that I'm very happy now because there's a lot of things and insecurities and problems, and especially the pain, the physical pain is not there. I learned what foods bothered my allergies the most and cut them out of my diet. You know, relationship problems I used to have, I've solved. Okay. Um, People I've worried about in my life, their little particular problems have resolved one way or the other. So I actually, these days, even though I have, this is the most responsibility I've had in my life, I'm actually handling it the best. So you probably see me smiling more. But I also found out too, and this is interesting, that you know what? If I say it, you're gonna sting me. He's racist. I'll say people who hail from a similar ethnic makeup as mine, and my ethnic makeup in particular is African American with some possible native descent ancestry. They don't smile a lot. They just don't. It's a cultural thing. And I'd read that some people who are more Native American may not necessarily smile. It's just a cultural thing. We just don't. But it's like you got to stop thinking so binary. Just because I'm not smiling doesn't mean that I'm scowling at you. Okay? It just means that I'm not smiling. Or maybe what you said was not funny. If you cracked a joke and I didn't laugh, nowadays, before, if I didn't laugh at a joke when I was younger and was really dumb, I'm not saying I'm not stupid now at times, and just didn't know what was going on in the world, I just didn't laugh if it wasn't funny. But now, I don't laugh because sometimes I'm scared to laugh because I'm like, if I laugh at that joke, am I going to offend someone? Now I'm worried about offending everybody. So I may not necessarily laugh because I'm afraid I'm going to get in trouble, especially if I'm at work or if I'm, teaching a class, because I don't want to offend somebody. So the long and short of it is, without me doing the things that a lot of people like to ding white Americans on when they try to prove that they're not racist by trying to cite who they know who's ever in the group, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to tell you, you really don't know me if you think that I am racist. And people have thought that of me before because I wasn't smiling. And the reason I wasn't smiling was not because I wanted to fight the power, is because I wanted to fight the pain that I was in. I was in pain. I can't be in pain. Did it ever occur to some folks that I'm in pain? And also, again, and I'm going to wrap this up, I'm not a racist if I don't want to go to a KKK meeting because I'm afraid they're going to hurt me. Okay? That's just common sense. So, and one more thing, to really prove to I will do this to really prove to people that I'm not racist, which I really shouldn't have to. People who actually are actually don't like white people, hate me sometimes. They criticize me. I get criticisms from them because they say that how I may feel about a particular topic is just how the white man wants you to feel. It's like, so I catch grief from the black supremacist side too. So I catch grief from the black supremacist side as well as from the white supremacist side. So I figure if I've got at least two groups of supremacists that come after me, not mentioning the female supremacists, that's a third supremacist group. Like one lady told me, you sound like somebody who probably thinks for himself. Oh, and I will say this, she's not a friend of mine, but she saw me on the subway contemplating, and she struck up a conversation with me, and I just felt like spilling my guts. And she was a white lady, and she said, oh, so everybody hates you because you're not. She said, then you just probably think for yourself, and we can't have that in America. So that's my thing. If you think that I'm racist, you're probably just racist or paranoid or something like that. You're really just projecting your issue onto me. Okay. Again, one more metaphor. I don't hate grasshoppers because I want to cut my lawn. That was weak, but I'm sticking with it. Peace. Like, comment, and subscribe.